All right. What's up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. Zaneman Studios asks, where am I? I am here. I start the stream right at the dot. And here I am. This is going to be my last live stream to conclude the year that is 2023. Zachdy Productions, Ryan Rupre, thank you so much for tuning in right at the start. Hope you guys are doing very well, staying safe, and if there's some notifications going on my mobile, I'm just going to ignore them. I'm going to do the usual things, that is to hang out with you guys, and December has been pretty crazy. I have mentioned from my last live stream last month that I was maybe going to be doing a live stream, like a bonus one, to finish off the year. And here I am. I've bought a lot of albums. I am going to be showing you the stuff that I've got from my birthday, as well as the albums that I have bought with some of my gig money. I went back to Swordfish Records for the first time in a really, really long time. I'll get to some of the questions in a few minutes because I am going to show you guys which albums I've purchased and the ones I've got from a birthday. There are some albums that I have bought that will not be shown until the favorite albums of the year video that is going to be coming up very, very soon. Let's start off with the birthday stuff. The first one is a Blu-ray. It's a movie that was made from one of my most favorite directors of all time, with the actor who's probably my favorite actor of all time, the king of comedy, Robert De Niro, right here. I have always heard very, very good things about this movie. I'm a big fan of Martin Scorsese's movies, and I love De Niro very much. This is a film that I have not watched yet. So for those of you who have seen this film, please let me know in the chat. My favorite Scorsese with De Niro film is Taxi Driver. Even though Goodfellas is my second favorite film of all time. And yes, I am going to be doing a movie review on Taxi Driver. Bear with me, because there are some things I'm going to be talking about after I have displayed these albums that I've got. But yeah, I'm looking forward to check this one out. This album is from a band I really am going to be discovering so much more. This is the second album that I've got from this band. I have their most beloved and praised album on remastered vinyl as well. Midnight Social to Mindful 28, great to see you as always, guys. The Cure, Wish. Now this is the 30th anniversary to 180 gram vinyl pressing. I do love a lot of this album. The pressing is very, very nice. I'm so glad I am finally getting into The Cure. You can see the hype sticker there. I've not placed it to cover some bits of the artwork because it's wrapped in cellophane. But this is a great record. If there are any Cure fans, please let me know in the chat which album from them is your favorite. And the other CD, well, album I should say, is a CD from a band that my brother decided, buy this for me. I've heard good things about the band. I have heard of them previously, but I really want to get into them. And this band is called Bad Bad Not Good. This is the album 4. I first heard of these guys from a few reviews from The Needle Drop, but I didn't know that these guys are an instrumental band. I've heard really good things about Bad Bad Not Good. It weirdly came in this like a replica cellophane wrapping, but in CD form. So yeah, Bad Bad Not Good. Looking forward to check out this band. Now the albums I've bought earlier when I turned 29 years old. I think I bought these albums like a few days after. They are in no particular order. Start with the records. The Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll. Now this is, I believe, an original pressing. This is the follow-up to Goat's Head Soup. My favorite thing about the album is the album cover. I love it. Love it very much. I think this album is very, very enjoyable. The first half is very good. The second half, to me, is good, but there are some weaknesses. You can't go wrong with the title track. Till the Next Goodbye is a wonderful song. Time Waits for No One has a wonderful guitar solo from Mick Taylor. I really like the first half of this album. The second half, like tracks of Dance Little Sister and Fingerprint File, in my honest opinion, are weak tracks. They're not terrible. They're just so mediocre. Short and Curly's is pretty good. Luxury's cool as well. Not as a strong Rolling Stones album, but I am really starting to like more of this album. It's not one of the strongest in the discography, but there are some great stuff on this. The next one, I love this album, but I tried listening to this and I had to stop playing this because the records kept skipping many times. I'm so pissed off it happened, but it is what it is. The Chemical Brothers, Surrender. I know they've got a new album out recently. I need to check it out. This is my favorite Chemical Brothers album, but as soon as I drop the needle, I've heard a lot of skipping. I just can't believe that it just happened right at the start. Anyway, hopefully I would like to clean the record and maybe it'll help to remove the skips. But if that doesn't work, let me know what will work to solve that problem. I don't want to keep buying the same pressing of an album many times just to not hear the skips. Despite that, this is a masterpiece. I sometimes work out in the gym listening to this, and it's a brilliant choice. Next up, Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll. This is the final album with Dio. I believe this is an original pressing. Here's the gatefold. Long Live Rock and Roll. Great album. Not my favorite. And I think Rainbow is a band around this period where they're at their peak. I would like to dive into some of the later stuff. Rising is my favorite Rainbow album, which is one of the top 5 heavy metal must-hear albums of all time. But yeah, this is an excellent album from Rainbow. Next one, really glad to have this, despite it did skip on some parts with some crackles. But this is my first Megadeth album that I've bought on vinyl. I almost wanted to buy Countdown to Extinction. I didn't get a chance to buy an original Rust in Peace, but I did pick up an original Euthanasia. I love this album. This is my second favorite Megadeth album. I'm going to make a promise to you guys that I will be reviewing the rest of this band's discography in the new year, as well as others, as I keep saying. This is an original on Capitol Records. There's lyrics on this side and the picture of the band. This lineup was incredible. It's on limited edition blue vinyl. Sexy. Yes, the scratch marks are shown everywhere, but despite that, it's gorgeous to look at, and I love a lot of this record. This is, for some Megadeth fans, a classic. I have no argument with that, actually. Obviously, Rust in Peace is the magnum opus in the band's discography. But yeah, I really do love Euthanasia a lot. I think in the future it could be a classic 10 out of 10 for me. This album would be a potential one as one of my favorite albums of all time. Now, this next record is from recently, a few days before Christmas Day. I went to see this band once again. They were amazing. I didn't expect to get this. Fury with the album Born to Sin. As you can see, it's signed by the band. This was one of my favorite albums from last year, and it is great. It's a double album pressing. The guitar player, Jake, left the band to be another Birmingham band called Insurgent. I think the Grand Prize is a bit of a better album, but this album still is really great. Beautiful color on this vinyl pressing. They do have vinyl pressings of their albums, like with the Grand Prize and also Lost in Space. They've got a new guitar player who did an amazing job. Besides that, I did get drunk. The hangover after that was so bad. But yes, if you have not checked out Fury yet, you need to discover this band. I've been very close friends with Julian for over 10 years. Naya, she was from a band called Aramantus, and she became a great backing vocalist for Fury. Becky Baldwin, she's a phenomenal bass player. You need to check her out as well on social media. And Tom on the drums. Incredible. Fury at one of their peaks. The CDs that I've purchased. First one is Garbage with the first album, self-titled, from 1995, through the record label of Mushroom Records. I really like this album. I'm so glad I am getting into this band so much more. I have got their second album, which I have bought first, but I've heard really good things from other people that they do like or love this band. I know that Butch Vig is one of the members, and I'm very familiar with him. Pleased to have this. This next one, this is a bit of a controversial record for many fans of this legendary artist. I do think this is one of my most favorites. David Bowie, Earthling. This album, to me, is awesome. If you are a fan of techno to breakbeat and at some points industrial type of experiments, this is an album from 97. Bowie focused more around the music than the lyrics, and it really does show that very heavily. We all know the single of I'm Afraid of Americans. For those of you who are Bowie fans, I love a lot of this album, to be honest with you. This is one of my top 10 Bowie albums, yet alone not many fans would cite this as a great record, or some say it's underrated. Same goes with this one. Prince, Emancipation. This is the 3-hour long album. 3 discs, each disc is an hour long. I really like Prince very much. He's one of my favorite musicians, and I do not think that he's overrated. Some people thought Prince is overrated. I don't understand why. I think he's an underrated guitar player who's brilliant, but for him, making music by himself, being a monstrous multi-instrumentalist, I think it's fantastic. Yes, I know that Prince has made a few weak albums along the way, but I think this is one of my favorite Prince albums. The next one, Ol' Dirty Bastard's debut, Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version. Ol' Dirty is my favorite member of the Wu-Tang. I know that this album is very out there, totally hilarious to humorous, and just a wild character that he was. I do need to get into more of the Wu-Tang's solo efforts. I know I've seen a lot of the comments that are sent to the chat. I promise, guys, I will read all of them. So I'll have to scroll back up. This is one of my favorite hip-hop albums of all time. I know some people think others from the Wu in their solo materials are better than this, but I love this album a lot because it's wacky, it's just adventurous, it's hyper, you know. I think it's a classic. And the last two are from this iconic, well-praised and influential jazz fusion style band, Weather Report. I know that I have been a big fan of jazz fusion, you know, through Miles Davis to the Mahavishnu Orchestra, but I really wanted to get into Weather Report for a long while. This is the album Sweet Nighter, excuse me. And the other one is this one, and I love this album art as much as Sweet Nighter. This is Heavy Weather. These two are in part of the beautiful remasters from Columbia Records. So yeah, pleased to have these two for me to get into Weather Report. So that is going to be that for the update. I'm going to go through the comments right now because I haven't forgotten any of you guys. Thank you very much to this point of you guys joining in. My Christmas was very nice. Thank you very much, Midnight Social. Was listening to a lot of space ambient music, ambient musicians you've never heard before. I still need to discover a lot of them, Ryan. I love ambient music, one of my favorite genres of all time. Zach, what are your thoughts on Crosses, Chino's side project? I like some of their songs. I've not heard of Crosses yet. I know that Chino used to be in Team Sleep from the mid-2000s. I am very familiar and being aware that Chino's been with the Crosses side project. I haven't listened to that band yet. Have you thought about doing a video collection for your Blu-rays? Not really. As much as that I love being a movie fan, I don't have a collection of Blu-rays that are as big. I am doing very well. Thank you very much, Mindful28. Ryan, obviously Brian Eno is an amazing artist, but other great examples include Biosphere. I need to get into him. Some of these other names I haven't looked at yet. Oren Ambarchi, Max Corbacho, Tom Brennan, John Seri, etc. I might have butchered some of their names. I'm sorry, but those look really interesting. Um, Wish is an overlooked Cure album. I think some Cure fans love that album as one of their favorites too. So that's why I wanted that from my birthday list. I got Led Zeppelin 2 recently on vinyl. Love it. That's my favorite Led Zeppelin album. Cremeria, I might have butchered that. Subscribes to you because of your Mayfield Kill Repeat CD review video. Do you still have that CD? Yes, I do. I will always keep the stuff that I have for my Slipknot collection. And by the way, I thought I would just stream with the posters behind me like I used to do streams in this background instead of the background with the other CDs behind me from previous live streams. But yeah, because I've been chilling and been looking forward to doing this live stream. But yeah, I do have the fake copy of Mayfield Kill Repeat. I know I've mentioned this before, and I'll say this one more time. I'm not going to sell or trade any of my stuff because the collection means a lot to me, despite the bullshit Slipknot did do recently, which I will not say ever again. If you want to know, you'll have to find out from my last live stream where I've mentioned it, and with the videos that I've done around, the time that Jay got fired. But there you go. Ryan again. My favorite Cure album is and will always be Disintegration. The darkness, the sadness, the musicianship, the songwriting, and Robert Smith's guitar playing is phenomenal. That's the main reason why I really want to get into The Cure. I've bought Disintegration on remastered vinyl, and it was amazing. I have liked The Cure, but to know what they're about, so pleased I got into them. Zach D, I'll admit it's been a while since I've bought any CDs. I guess I just don't need anything at the moment. You can just collect any album whenever you feel like it. No one's pressuring you. You can take the time you have to collect more of the albums that you want for your collection. It's Only Rock and Roll is an overlooked Rolling Stones album. Excuse me, says Mindful28. I do think that it is. Same goes with Goat's Head Soup. Goat's Head Soup is a really underrated record that I like a lot. To follow up Exile on Main Street, It's Only Rock and Roll does have moments where I really enjoy the album. But like I said earlier, the first half is the stronger half. Sedition Through Scorns. Hey Greg, happy holidays to you, and it's wonderful to see another live stream to showcase your everlasting love and devotion to have killer music in a collection update. Cheers for that, Jake. I do appreciate it. Ryan, everything about Disintegration is a major influence on my songwriting. That's really cool to hear, Ryan. Mindful28, Disintegration is the best Cure album for me. I haven't listened to a lot of the Cure stuff yet, but there's no doubt that Disintegration would be the best Cure album. Midnight Social says, Pornography is my favorite Cure album. I've heard really good things about that one too. Mindful28, I still need to check out the Chemical Brothers. I've heard great things about them. They are from Manchester. If you like the Prodigy, like classic 90s Prodigy, don't miss out through the early stuff, like the first album, the second album, Dig Your Own Hole, I believe it's called, and Surrender, which I've obviously talked about earlier. Mindful28 again. Long Live Rock and Roll is a great Rainbow album and has the iconic Ronnie James Dio on vocals. Yes, it's brilliant. Ryan says Pornography is masterpiece too. Disintegration is better. Zach D says that is a solid album by Rainbow. It's very good. Mindful28 says Euthanasia is an underrated Megadeth album. I agree. Chromeria, do you still have your MFKR CD from the pretty popular? Yes, I do. I've mentioned this earlier. I've answered your question. But I did say whilst I was showing the albums, which I've obviously done, that I'm going to respond to every comment, which I am doing right now. Mindful28, that first Garbage album is amazing. Version 2.0 is great too. I really like both of those albums. Although some Garbage fans say, and will stick to say, that the early stuff's better, I'm not sure about the later stuff, because I don't think they would probably be as like really great as the early stuff, but I'll have to experience the later stuff myself. Mindful28, Earthling is an overlooked David Bowie album. I agree as well. I still need to check out Prince's Emancipation. I like many of his albums, like Purple Rain, Sign of the Times, which is a classic, and Love Sexy. I like Prince a lot, and he's definitely one of those musicians who had been such a passionate artist. And that's what I really liked a lot about him. Sedition through Scorns. Prince is my all-time favorite solo musician. His imagery, flamboyance, enthusiasm, and songwriting was way ahead of the curve. An absolute legend and a remarkable individual who I miss very much. Yeah, it took me some time for me to get into Prince. It's not that I disliked him in any way, but, you know, many people really cited Prince as a great musician. Mindful28, Old Dirty Bastard's debut is one of the best Wu-Tang solo albums. I love it very much. I've heard of Raekwon's debut album, and the other Wu members' few classic early albums. But Old Dirty Bastard's debut just holds a special place for me. Mindful28, again, Weather Report is another band I've heard great things about and want to check them out. You see, that's the thing. It's crazy to me that I love jazz fusion, but I've always heard loads of things positively about Weather Report. If the cover art doesn't intrigue you, I don't know what will. But I love the genre very much. Respect my authority. Do you watch Doctor Who? If so, who's your favourite Doctor? I'm not a fan of Doctor Who, to be honest. I rarely watch a lot of TV shows, you know, that are so like iconic, and I loved the Daleks though. But the way Doctor Who is now, you know, it doesn't interest me. Modern films, Weather Report are like the American Soft Machine, at least during the 70s-71 period. I will say that is a very good comparison, because Soft Machine are a legendary band who I do love so much, and some of their stuff after Third, in my opinion, are strong pieces of music. No way. Hang on. I gotta pause. I gotta stop. Catherine, formerly of Cat Moonchild. Oh my god. You've just made my evening. I did not expect you to be here. I'm doing very well. Things have been going pretty cool in my own world, but we have not talked to each other at all for a very long time. Guys, I'm sorry. Catherine was a VC member. I used to watch her video, excuse me. I can't talk properly, sorry. I used to watch her videos all the time before she stopped doing videos. She's in her own world. She's in her own direction, which I totally accept. But Catherine, thank you so much for being here. I hope you are doing very well yourself. Still love music, still record collecting, still love Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Leonard Cohen. Can we send hearts in the chat, please? I know you guys don't know her, but she, along with you guys, has been another long-time supporter and subscriber on my channel. Can we share the love, please? She loves vinyl as much as you guys. She does love some of the stuff that you guys are into. If you love Bowie, if you love Leonard Cohen stuff, it's just great to see you. I can't believe it. Anyway, sorry I've missed some of these comments out. Where was I? Mindful28, speaking of Chino, I'm wearing my Deftones shirt today. That is awesome. I love Deftones. I haven't got any Deftones shirt yet. I do remember. I have so many albums, it's insane. I have a lot of albums. It is insane as well. I'm still at a loss for words because I did not expect to see a person who I have admired come right up to a live stream. I really appreciate it to see long-time subscribers like Catherine and as well as with you guys who remain very special to me. Catherine, we do need to hopefully get in touch. We need to talk to each other online again, just like what I've done with some of you guys here. You can message me on Instagram, and don't apologize that you say you've interrupted the stream. You've never interrupted. You've made me pause, but with a surprising look. Mindful28, I got 3 band shirts recently. Wu-Tang Clan, yeah. Lamb of God, yeah. And Korn. Great picks. You don't have social media though. You used to have an Instagram. We used to chat on Skype as well. I'm sorry, I don't want to drag this point, so long, guys. I can't believe that she's here. Let's see. Yeah, Ryan says, nice to see you. I kind of remember her channel from 6 years ago. So here's some hearts. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing, that it's amazing that anybody still remembers my channel, and I still remember what he or she used to do for their passion of music. I can't put it into any words about this moment, because Catherine has been a person who's been very supportive, and she's just a wonderful person. Guitar Storms, Merry Christmas to you. How's your Christmas, guys? I should have asked that previously. Catherine, obviously you can see on my channel that I still do a ton of videos. I still love some of your favorite musicians of all time. Love Dylan. I love Neil Young. I love Oasis, Leonard Cohen, and the stuff we used to talk about. It gives me a lot of nostalgia. So it's great to see you. That's all I can really say. But don't hesitate to get in touch. How's things, where you're at, Catherine? You finished college. That is amazing. I'm very happy to hear that. Midnight Social, my son was born on the 22nd. So been a hectic Christmas, to be honest. Congratulations, Midnight Social. Again, send hearts for Midnight Social, please. Um, are you a first time father? I could be wrong, but if you are a first time experiencing parent, then I wish you the best for your fatherhood. I try to watch VC videos, but still don't really have as much time. Yes, I do remember DJ Legion. I used to watch The Last Titan, as he's now called as that. Yeah, I was really gutted he had cancer. I hope he's doing okay. I mean, he used to do brief update videos on how he has been feeling, but health and family obviously do come first. DJ Legion or The Last Titan, for those of you who don't know, he's another VC member. I've noticed, I've heard you had a son too. I hope your son's doing well, and your other half as well. At the moment that we didn't keep in contact anymore, I was weirdly feeling worried to say, that when we've not been in touch since, oh my God, I think over 4 or over 3 years. But I'm so happy you are here. I can't believe it. I know I'm repeating myself, so I need to shut up and hydrate. But yeah, Catherine, you can decide if you want to keep in touch with me or not. But your family of your own do come first, and I hope you are doing great. But congratulations with your son as well. Born on the 16th. So your son is 2 years old. Christmas has been hectic for you as well as for me. I am doing 2 gigs the last 2 days of 2023. So I've got 2 gigs, one on the 30th and one on New Year's Eve. Very cool t-shirt, bro. Hope you're doing great physically and mentally. Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Guitar Storms. He's a wild child. That's lovely. I'm sorry, my chat's a bit all over the place to look at every single one at the moment, because ever since Catherine popped up here, I'm trying to read every single comment. You had an amazing Christmas, Mindful28. Great to hear. Oh, you have a 3-year-old daughter, Midnight Social. So, I wonder what the names are, if you don't mind me asking. Did you name your kids after musicians or not? He's going to have a good music taste, though. I'm sure your son will, Catherine. I've been very personal with you guys through different live streams with how I've been feeling, especially like what I've been saying from my thoughts around 2021, 22, and 23. But even though that I am really, really positively hoping and wishing that 2024 is going to be a better year for me as well as with you guys. But it's so special to see people who I loved to talk to online on social media just decide to come out of the blue and, make me feel like I'm still involved with these people. Catherine, you do mean a lot to me, and I'm very grateful to know you as a special friend, and I do appreciate you being here. My heart and prayers, go out to The Last Titan. I hope he pulls through this. Yeah, cancer is a big bastard. Sedition through Scorns. Hopefully 2024. Guitar Storms. Prayers for the sick. Yeah. Hopefully 2024 will be better in many ways possible, physically speaking. so I can return to my roots for my reviews and interviews. It's been hectic and emotionally draining, but I shall be okay. Glad to hear that, Jake. Your son is named Vincent, Catherine, but to be honest, I just like the name. Yeah, that's a cool name. No real namesake. Nice choice. You would have named him Dylan, uh, but my husband's name is Dylan and didn't want Dylan too. That's fair enough. Midnight Social. My son's called Dylan after Bob Dylan. Nice. Even though Robert Allen Zimmerman is his actual name, but that is awesome to know that your son is named Dylan after, in my opinion, the greatest singer-songwriter and my favorite lyricist. Named after Bob Dylan and my daughter Grace, not named after anyone. That's fair enough. Sedition through Scorns, that's the best feeling of them all. When you have a dedicated, loyal fan base, it's what makes your community be special. You are special, guys. I'm just a guy, as I said before, I'm just a guy talking to a camera, talking about music, sharing what I love, and if anyone's interested at what I've been doing, then, you know, it's the best of both worlds. Excuse me. But yeah, the stuff that I'm going to be doing for 2024, I promise I'm going to be reviewing some more albums. I don't know if I would want to review new albums because I think 2023 has been a really great year of itself. There's no doubt that legendary bands to musicians will be releasing new albums for 2024, Judas Priest being one of them. I don't know if I would like to review new albums again because I've still got a shit ton of albums to talk about through discographies, as well as to do some more vlogs and live streams. But another thing that I've been interested into, you know, to be displaying with you guys, I've mentioned this around the summertime, why I've lacked my reviews of new albums. I'm going to be interested to do some guitar content because I'm a full-time musician, a full-time guitar player, being in a band called Hard Graft. I really want to do some content where I can show you guys the pedal board that I have, some of the guitars that I have. I'm not going to show all of them because I don't want a guy like myself to just show everything because my collection is very personal to me. It makes this mindset, in my opinion, attention seeking, and you know, it makes others feel jealous, which I know other people won't be thinking like that or may say the same things, but at the same time, with the collection of gear that I have, I do want to show some or just the right amount of gear that I think is good enough to show on my channel. Zach Hurley, glad to see you once again, guys. And Zach involved. I've just shown to the chat earlier the records I've purchased both on CD and on vinyl, and one I got from my 29th birthday. I'm smelling food downstairs, but I'll end this live stream whenever I would like to. Let's see. Guitar Storms, you're a guy that brings so much passion to us for music. Thank you very much, Guitar Storms. I really appreciate it. My428, this year I successfully moved from my hometown of Austin. Yes, I've heard about that. Austin, Texas, to Puerto Rico, nice one. Did it go well? I was in a dark place mentally, especially with my parents' divorce, but now I have a more positive mental attitude. Do keep that up, Mindful28. Don't give up. Others will support you here in the chat, as well as anyone who's on your side. I'm going to have a more positive mental attitude in 2024. Same with me. I want to be in a very productive and focused mindset to where I want to go as a musician. Excuse me, especially for the band Hargraft that I'm in, where they're going to go. Guitar Storms, you should do more guitar playing on that Gary Moore Les Paul. I will do that. I'm not going to do covers because of the bullshit copyright infringements that still, well, always has been monotonous and garbage. Zach Hurley, good evening all. Hope your Christmas was well. It was very good. Thank you very much, Zach. I got Slipknot self-titled on vinyl, Mudvayne's LD50, and Slipknot We Are Not Your Kind on vinyl. That's brilliant. Great selection. Guitar Storms, I would love those guitar reviews and pedals I play too. It would be so interesting. Yes, I'm sure it will. But I know if I would like to do guitar-related content, I don't think my recording, the stuff that I use to record stuff, is going to be as perfect. Catherine, I hope everyone has a great 2024. I have to get off, but it was great talking to you. I'll keep in touch. Much love to you and your family. Catherine, thank you so much for being here. Stay positive, stay inspired, and still continue to believe in yourself. Let you be you, as well as with you guys here. Much love to Catherine. Thank you so much. It does mean the world to me that you're here. I know I said that same shit all the time now, but you've made my night, as I said. But I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time, Catherine. We'll be in touch again. That will be awesome. Don't worry about what others say. That content will be cool. I've been playing the guitar a lot more too, but I've also been learning the banjo. That's really lovely as well, Kat. Banjos are nice, but I'm a guitar fanatic at heart. Glad to hear you're coming back to guitar as well. I'm not so sure what's the... Excuse me. Oh, shit. What's the best present you got for Christmas this year? I think my favorite Christmas present I've got this year, I think it has to be Fury's Born to Sin, signed by the entire band. I just love this band loads, all autographed. It's just amazing. That's another one to my signed collection of stuff. Zach Hurley, yeah, keep it up, Mindful28 and everyone. Thank you very much, Zach. Says that to Guitar Storms from Mindful28. Same goes with Mindful and Zach together on the two latest comments. But yes, I am really glad that I am in a much better frame of mind, and the productivity is going to be continuing forward. For Twitch streaming, I have no idea when I would like to come back to stream on that website. My Twitch account is the same as my YouTube channel name. I think for these Twitch Hangouts, it's going to be the same as this, really. But I think I would like to play music in the background. I'll point it over there because my record player and my system's there. Obviously, I can't do it with YouTube streaming because of copyright, as I said too many times now. But yeah, I used to do guitar practicing streams, with songs. But I think to really interact and to be engaged to an audience, talking with you guys, I think is better than to ignore the chat and focus on my practicing. Um, which I love to practice, I love to play, but I love to try and engage enough to the chat. Mindful28, are you a fan of Star Wars? It's pretty funny. I actually got into Star Wars a few years ago. When I was younger, I did not get the hype about Star Wars. I thought it was cool, but I didn't understand the hype. Bear in mind, I've only watched the classic trilogy, and that's it. No, I think I've seen Rogue One when it came out in the cinemas. But besides Rogue One, I've only seen the classic trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6. But obviously, we know those three are like the first three Star Wars flicks. I didn't bother with the prequels. I know that it's been talked about, so many times that they suck, they're panned, whatever. I didn't check them out. The Force Awakens, I've heard, is a good or great Star Wars film. Now people are shitting over The Rise of Skywalker. Some people gave the Last Jedi, I believe, some crap too. Midnight Social, is the big Slipknot mask poster behind you the one that came from Kerrang magazine years ago? I'm sure I had the same one. Yes, this one. I did have a Kerrang magazine with that poster. At first, I thought it was this one, which was the very first Slipknot poster that I've actually got when I started collecting the band's stuff. But no, it's this one here. It's still here, despite its age. And same goes with the other posters. Some parts are getting really creased. But yeah, that is the same poster from Kerrang back in 2008, I think. Because that's from the All Hope Is Gone era. Unless that poster was with a 2009 issue of a Kerrang magazine. I think it's 2008. But speaking of Slipknot, by the way, I am going to be still doing the video of the Slipknot origin from the earliest of the period to the Mayfield Kill Repeat era. I've mentioned this from a previous live stream. I am going to be doing it still. It's still going to be put on hold. Well, I promise you guys and to myself that I am going to be putting the video up in the new year. And for the last time, I think it will be for the very last time, I'm going to be seeing Slipknot next year in December 2024. Because it's to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the first album. Some people thought it's the 25th anniversary of the band, which is not right. It's not correct. Because Slipknot was formed in 95. I mean, it could be a celebration of the band's 25th anniversary as a band, but since the debut came out in 99, the album is going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary. So that's going to be amazing. I wasn't really sure about it because of what Slipknot did do recently, and with, the arrogance and the so-called ongoing business that Clown's been saying. And Yet Alone did not explain the full reason why Jay was out of the band, which is so typical. But with that being said, I don't give a shit about that anymore. I don't care about the persona of the band as much anymore. I'm just going to be there for the music. Mindful28, I know I'm skipping some comments. I'm sorry, guys. Mindful28, your collection vids from this year, excuse me, have got me to check out Moby's Play and Air's Moon Safari. I've just played Moon Safari yesterday, actually. Great album. Since they're both amazing albums and I had been sleeping on for too long. Yeah, Moby's Play, I didn't know it was that great. But it's an amazing, awesome album. Ryan Repray, I was 10 when All Hope Is Gone was released. I was 13 when it came out. The first Slipknot album of 1999 is my favorite. It's raw, aggressive, menacing, and even scarier. The self-titled is my favorite Slipknot album. And yet I decided to go to see Slipknot in Birmingham next year because they're playing the first album in its entirety. And besides, yes, it is always one of my most favorite albums of all time, but that album does mean a big deal to me as well. Midnight Social, I heard the ticket prices for the upcoming Slipknot tour was ridiculous. Yeah, but I did buy my tickets from the Ticket Factory. Not Ticketmaster anymore, because Ticketmaster can fuck right off. Especially with the worst ever amount of money that I had to spend for Peter Gabriel's show. But yeah, the tickets I've bought for Slipknot, they were around after I think over 70 quid. The standing ones, they were more. They were sold out though. The VIP packaging, didn't bother with those. It was just even more of a ridiculous amount of money. Says the guy, me, that did buy a VIP package when I went to see Slipknot for the 2020 tour when We Are Not Your Kind came out. But yeah, I didn't bother with the VIP packaging offers again. See you all again soon. Have to split. Love and peace to you all, guys. Same goes with you, Guitar Storms. Thank you very much for being here. Great to see you. Mindful28. All Hope Is Gone is underappreciated just because it's not Mayfield Kill Repeat and the first 3 Slipknot albums are excuse me, accidentally said the word Slipknot in their comment. And it's not there, obviously. Doesn't mean it doesn't have good moments. I really like All Hope Is Gone. I'm going to be doing a Slipknot ranking after my review for All Hope Is Gone. Now, the ranking is probably going to be a controversial ranking for Slipknot fans. I will not include the Mayfield Kill Repeat release though, because it's a demo. But yeah, my Slipknot ranking is probably going to be obvious for some, but for some that would probably make different reactions. Mindful28 at Guitar Storms. Peace out and thanks for the support. Ryan Repray, I never understood why Jay got fired from Slipknot in the first place. I think that is such a shit move of them doing so. Yeah. I'm not going to go into it many more repeats about it because it's moved on. And yet I thankfully didn't get any very critical or negative comments from my rant around the fan base anymore. And I don't want to bring that up again, even though I just did. But I don't want to bring it up more to talk about it. So we can move on because I want to focus on what I like to talk about. Mindful28, Peter Gabriel's I.O. is an amazing album. I think his best since So. Absolutely. I love a lot of I.O. I think it's his strongest album since Us, which I've mentioned in my review that Us is my favorite Peter Gabriel album, but so is a classic. I'm a big fan of his Melt album as well. Security, brilliant stuff. Yeah. Hang on, I've been called, guys. Oh, shit. Right. Okay. Let's see. Ryan Rupre. Speaking of Peter Gabriel, I have been recently listening to So and Us. I also think Passion is such a masterpiece. Yeah, I love that Passion soundtrack. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, even that it's a soundtrack too. I've not seen the film though, even though that's a controversial film. I haven't heard the Birdie soundtrack yet, but the Passion soundtrack is a beautiful instrumental and must hear album if you are a fan of world beats, percussive, and a dynamic texture in the way you listen to Peter Gabriel's unique material. Ryan again. Peter is also my favorite Genesis member as he's solely focused on world music and world music, art, rock, and art pop. Peter is one of my most favorite solo musicians of all time. I love his stuff so much. Mindful28, I've been listening to a lot of King Crimson lately. I've been marathoning their discography, and Poseidon, Lark's Tongues in Aspic, Red, and Discipline are my favorite albums. Yeah, I really like a lot of Poseidon and Red. Lark's Tongues is my second favorite King Crimson album. Discipline is my favorite. The debut in the Call of the Crimson King is such a prog classic. Everyone in the prog universe knows about the album, but Discipline is my favorite for I think it's separate incredible distinction of music and art in a very different personality. Personality. Tremendous album. Ryan Rupre, I'm not keen on Phil Collins' solo stuff. Fair enough. I like some of his stuff quite a lot. Not to disrespect Phil Collins, but I've always preferred Phil being an amazing drummer. He is an amazing drummer. With and without Genesis, I think Phil is a great musician for him being one of my favorite Genesis members. But in the prog stuff, I know some of the pop stuff, he took over more of the stuff of music. But as a drummer, he's fantastic. Mindful28, I think that Face Value and No Jacket Required are some good Phil Collins solo albums. Ryan Rupre, I've always loved the Lark's Starless Red era of King Crimson. In the Call of the Crimson King is a masterpiece. I think Starless is very good as well. But I think Red is a bit of a favorite, like a high favorite, I mean. But the song Starless from the Red album is one of my most favorite King Crimson songs. Mindful28, In the Court of the Crimson King is an amazing debut, but I think that In the Wake of Poseidon is slightly better. Surprising pick there. Many Crimson fans would rub that one off as like too similar, which is not a problem to me. To me, it's a really good follow-up. It's not a strong album, but it's one of my favorite King Crimson albums still. Ryan, In the Court of the Crimson King is also one of my favorite albums of all time. It's also the album that where it helps you to think outside the box. I love that term when albums do go outside the box. and makes you think about different things around the music of whatever it is that you love, whatever you want to play. It it has its own gravitation to let you become so involved with what is going on with the music's behavior. um, Red has a heavier feel, whereas Larks and Starless are based on not only free improvisation, but also the influence of Eastern European classical composers like Bartok. Yeah, um, I think Robert Fripp's mind through later King Crimson is very, dare I say it, progressive, but he's expanding King Crimson um, as the band goes through multiple differences. I mean, King Crimson has been his baby. Let's be fair here. I know that the first lineup of King Crimson was involved when the band became a thing, but it's all down to Robert Fripp. Excuse me, guys. I really got to go to the loo. But talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back. And also, I think I'm going to wrap this up in about 15 or 20 minutes. I didn't think that I would be streaming for over 2 hours this time, but I really do like still talking to you guys very much. But we'll keep this going for a bit. So I'll be right back. Right. Oh, shit. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a bit of a belly pain for some reason. I think it's the chunks of the big red apple that I was eating. Because I'm trying to cut down with a lot of water and fruit. Hopefully, I need to work out a lot more, burn calories after a lot of Christmas food. Mindful 28. I'm back, guys. By the way, I should have said that. The upcoming Judas Priest album is one of my most anticipated albums of 2024, especially how great their last two albums, Redeemer of Souls and Firepower, were. I really liked Redeemer of Souls, but I'm looking forward to the new Judas Priest record. I've heard of one of the new songs on the radio. Really good. Ryan, this also speaks volumes as to why I cited the progressive rock genre as my favorite genre of the 1970s, of which the vast majority, excuse me, of the bands are always about thinking outside the box. I'm not saying that Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon is overrated or anything, as Pink Floyd made amazing albums with Animals being my favorite. But when it comes to albums from the said progressive rock genre, such as Brain Salad Surgery, Thick as a Brick, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Close to the Edge, 2112, etc., are groundbreaking albums. I can see that. There are other really great prog albums, like you said about 2112, which is my favorite Rush album as well. Close to the Edge, Then there's Selling England by the Pound by Genesis, um, and PFM. Check out them. That's fantastic Italian progressive rock band from that decade. Um, and also some Focus as well. But yeah, the 70s have always been like a groundbreaking um, description for a lot of music and bands through the virtuosity and variety. And progressive rock is always one of my most favorite genres too. Michael 28, Animals is also my favorite Pink Floyd album. Wish You Were Here is my second favorite. Animals is one of my top five. Same goes with Dark Side. But you guys know my re-ranking of Pink Floyd's discography. For those of you who haven't, do check it out if you want to. Ryan again. But then you get bands like, Nectar, really good band as well. Hawkwind, Gong, who I love, made stunning albums from the prog era. Michael 28, Premiato Funerio Marconi, bad Italian. But yes, Michael 28. I've heard about them from your Vinyl Viz, but I've never actually checked them out. I recommend the first two albums. The second album is my favorite. The first record is just as incredible. Ryan Rupre, like I said, progressive rock is my favorite genre of the 70s, as you get so many different influences and inspirations. Not to mention jazz, classical, avant-garde, etc. That's one of the best things about that period of music. The 1960s as well. These two are always my favorite eras of music. I love 80s to 90s stuff and some from the present day, but those two, to me, have made a prolific artistic document that anyone who really wants to digest and be gravitating towards a gigantic form of art with detail and its own focus of what it shows to you, let that be a great thing to do. Do discover those decades of music. It's just as wide as many other albums later on for many bands from their careers and for any music fan. Michael 28, Nectar, and Gong are more prog bands I need to check out. Gong are a French band, my fault. I recommend the Flying Teapot trilogy. The Flying Teapot, Angel's Egg, and my favorite, You. Those three albums are known as their strongest albums. Sedition Through Scorns. I've heard about 60 albums of 2023 this year. This year has been exceptional, and yet even on par to 2022's, I hope the 2020s era and onward can bring more dynamic motivation and appreciation of all genres. I hope so as well. Ryan, modern progressive rock, hence the progressive metal genre, is also inspiring to me as well, as I loved bands like Carnival, Porcupine Tree, who are excellent, Opeth, and especially Tool. Really good examples there. Michael 28. The 60s and 70s are incredible decades for music, but I love 80s and 90s era of music too. Ryan and Tool is a big influence on my creativity, not just as a musician, but also concept-wise too. Maynard James Keenan is a legend, and he is cited as my biggest influence as a singer as well. Really good choice there, Ryan. I prefer You when you listen to the album, it always leaves you wondering where you have been the whole time. The I Love Everywhere on that album, it's such a jam. I love jamming to that track myself. Like when I play guitar, just randomly through backing tracks, practicing and improvising my lead. The I Love Everywhere is a really good track to jam to. Zach Hurley, for a guy who hasn't dug deep into the prog genre, what is prog and where should I start? Zach, the bands that some of the guys here have mentioned, it doesn't matter where you start, in my opinion. Many people would obviously go to the obvious ones, but go with the flow with a band that interests you. We know the Floyds, the Crimsons, the Jethro Tulls, the Yeses, the Porcupine Trees, the Opeths. Just start with a band that starts your own musical journey for progressive rock. Progressive metal too, like with some Porcupine Tree and Carnival. Porcupine Tree can be quite prog rocky as well. But yeah. Ryan again. I mean, I could go on and on and on about musicians who influence me so much, as music is my specialized interest in my life. I'm autistic as well, and I sometimes feel that music is my main interest. That's the same with me. And there's no negative about being autistic, because that's the thing that I had to learn myself. Being autistic was hard, but when you learn about it, when you can accept it, don't let it be an issue with you. Because you are exactly like me. You feel that music is the biggest connection to you, and that is a very big deal for you. If you're inspired by that, then keep that interest in. There's nothing wrong with being autistic. Autistic people can be as smart, be as open, and yes, like anybody else, we have made mistakes that offends people, that does rub off wrong ways. But when you overcome these flaws, when people accept you, when people know who you are, let the acceptance of who you want to be just be there. Zach, I'll definitely look into those bands. Thank you, guys. No worries, Zach. We are here for you, as we're here for each other. Mindful28, I know Yes released an album this year named Mirror to the Sky. I haven't listened to it yet, but I know it's gotten poor reception. I've moved on from Yes to this point. I didn't care about where they're going to go. The Quest to me did not impress me. It was a weak album, in my opinion, with some good songs, but I didn't care about the direction they're going to. No. Ryan Rupre, most of the lyrics I write for my own albums are based on those said experiences, not just about autism, but also for ordinary people. That's pretty cool. A cool way to dive in and explain ideas in that way. Sedition Through Scorns, I recently hit a milestone on Instagram last week as I gotten 30,000 followers and onward, which is wonderful to see. Well deserved, Jake. Crazy how I started just posting music games and other content and seeing my page be astronomically huge. It doesn't matter how many followers anyone should receive, because when they follow you, you know that you've done something that encourages and inspires anyone. I'd say just focus around the posts that you want to do. You want to share them, let people know if they like what you're into, then you will be making a community. Well, say community. You'll make a group of your own audience be involved with what you like. I say just only go into the mindset of knowing what you want to share, do it, and let the people decide. Zach Hurley, I find as I get older, just turned 13 recently. So you've been a subscriber to me for some time. You're 13. I've created my YouTube channel since I was 14. I'm starting to relate to more song lyrics as I go. Music fans do go in that direction as well. It does make a lot more sense. Some websites help me with my research for album reviews. Songtel and Genius.com, they are a big help for meanings behind songs, what they're about, um, and with people with their own interpretations of what lyrics are about through anything in music. Congrats to Sedition from Zach. Mindful28, I'm autistic as well. I've learned to overcome these flaws throughout life. That's great. Mindful28 to Sedition. Congrats, Sedition, on the 30,000 followers. Ryan Pray, what a lot, excuse me, of these people don't understand about music is that music is simply an art form. But when it's pleasing the mainstream audience and you are being taken advantage of, then that's a problem. I think people should always understand that music is an art form. And even if it's something that's very bad, like if there's some band or album or artist you don't like, it's an art form and a choice of what they, being the bands or musicians, want to do. But when people want to take advantage of an opinion that is not the same or different to yours, and to be, excuse me, very against what you're saying, then that's not a form of anything that respects um, everyone else. Because, you know, once you will be very open-minded, once you really appreciate art being so huge and music being such a specialty, you know, you can have choices to say anything. All right, I'm going to wrap this up, guys, in about nearly 5 minutes. But I get what you're saying there, Ryan. Sedition through scorns. As an autistic individual myself, the way I write my music reviews is not only influenced by myself, it's the expressions and articulation to have a narrative I'm portraying to let my audience hear. That's a good way for expressing and experiencing things like that. Because the more you keep going with posts of something you're really dedicated about, keep it at a constant rotation. Be very active. Mindful28, music is a way I can relate and connect to my inner emotions and understand the world a lot more. That's what I love about music so much. It's one of the best things. But the best thing I think about music is it's always there when you want a piece of music to be at the right point for your interest and grow your taste, and then to be inspired by many more. Ryan, the thing is, the music industry only cares about the musicians who are making money and how they are always taken advantage of. I think the music industry has always been very uh, big-headed and judging assholes. I don't care how difficult it is, because they always will be thinking about the profit. They think about the money. Although some record labels, like some independent ones, can be very open and respect the choices for any artist or band, they want to have their own creative freedom. Sedition, thanks a bunch, Mindful and Zach. The consistency and continuation. Being an independent journalist can be quite overwhelming, but if people like what I like, um, then that's what matters 100%. Mindful 28, there's nothing wrong with being popular, like the Beatles, Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Elton John, and David Bowie were all popular. It's pandering to the radio that's a problem. There's nothing wrong with, being a very famous band or an artist. Promotion does mean a big deal to grow an impact for these types of artists. Even though, yes, radio is a complete overkill of overplaying stuff, but it really increases the popularity and the impact for their career to be where their careers have achieved through their acclaim and attention. Zach Hurley, absolutely, Sedition. Is your username the same as your name on YouTube? I'll give you a follow. Yeah, please do. Please do that, guys. Ryan, not to mention that these mainstream singers have very little choice about what their musical direction for their own music would be. I guess it really depends by what you're saying there. It depends, in my opinion, that many mainstream singers would like to have something that pleases them, something that makes them feel passionate to share what they think is good for them, and have a musical direction that not only would inspire them, but it'll inspire an audience. And I think that's why a lot of mainstream singers have done what they've done, that have made music that I really give them respect for. I give respect to FKA Twigs, and some from Caroline Polachek, and Jessie Ware. Jessie Ware, who I've got into recently. It's not just them, but for various solo artists. Sedition through Scorns, thank you for the live stream as always. Looking forward to see what you'll bring in 2024. Also, I will keep in touch with you over on Instagram to go discuss plans. Words. Great to see you as always, Jake. It's awesome. I'm hoping that whatever the plans are going to be, I'm sure it'll be so cool once again. Ryan, and that's why I always look up to people like Tom York, Mike Patton, Aphex Twin, Tool, Pink Floyd. Great shout outs there. And bands do focus into their own musical directions through mainstream as well, not just solo artists. And Björk too, as you just said there now, Ryan. You love some Björk. Mindful 28, FKA Twigs is really good. She takes a lot of influence from Kate Bush and Björk. Besides, I don't think Capri Songs was one of my favorite releases of last year, I think. But I really like her two albums a lot. They're really, really good. Pink Floyd, Ryan, Steven Wilson, etc. as influences to how I see the music industry and what the music industry entails. Björk is an amazing singer. Her albums are so unique and so special. She's one of my favorite experimental art, pop, art, rock, electronic style musicians ever. Sedition through Scorn's final question for the stream. Um, if your Mount Rushmore were deserted albums to be masterpieces, which would you choose and why? Deserted albums. That is pretty difficult to say. I have no idea. Rushmore were deserted albums to be masterpieces. That is pretty tough. I'm not sure if I would really think about answering questions like that. Not because it's obviously not a bad question, but there's so many that I could really choose if I would be in that topic. Yeah, maybe I'll have to think about that. Maybe through a video or through another live stream. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you very much to the folks earlier and to this point who have decided to come on by and hang out. But I really do think it was a very, very good time, as always, to be with you guys. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that 2024 will be a banger of a year. I'm going to be heading out, but this was an amazing stream. Hope all is well with you, Greg, and thank you to everyone for the support. You're welcome, as always, Myfall28. Zach Hurley, keep it heavy, dude. See you next year. See you, Zach. So, after this live stream, I am going to be planning to do some live streams, a stream every few months, like I've done previously. I hope so, Ryan. 2024 should be better. Yes. Do take care of yourselves. Much love to all of you. And I will keep you guys posted as best as I can for more videos. There will be some changes, but I will always let you know. Changes in some positive way that I will be addressing through a community section post or through a video or even through a live stream. Anyways, nice chatting up with you, the Strong Boys 19. Keep up the amazing videos and have a happy new year. Same to you, Ryan. Keep it up, everyone, and we will meet again next year. Same here to you, Zach. All right, much love, peace and love. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the new year.